Secret Government Promises Big Changes. By Benjamin-Fullford. The secret government of the US and EU has promised a major overhaul in the wake of the warning it got from the Chinese secret society, according to a senior Japanese public security police officer and Freemason who has been acting as an intermediary with the Chinese secret society. "Expect big changes this autumn," he said in comments confirmed by a member of the Japanese royal family. "What you will be seeing is the unwinding of George Bush Sr.'s 50-year campaign to turn the U.S. into a fascist regime," the secret police agent says. "George Bush Sr. is now a broken man showing signs of senile dementia," he adds. If the sources are to be believed, U.S. President George Bush's government will resign before his term expires and will be replaced by an interim regime headed by Al Gore. This will start a 2-3-year transition period during which suppressed technology, such as free energy, will be released and a new system for running the planet will be implemented, according to these two sources. They (the Illuminati) know their rule is ending, but they do not want it to end in an ugly way, the security police source says. The recent market turmoil, including the Chinese threat to sell dollars, was part of the bargaining towards major changes in the secret balance of power, we are told. Certainly there are some encouraging signs. The tearful resignation of U.S. presidential brain Karl Rove removes a central linchpin of Bush's regime. Since it follows 6 other resignations, it does look like rats abandoning a sinking ship. In Japan, meanwhile, the victory of the opposition Democratic Party in the recent upper house elections could lead to the end of the Iraq and Afghan wars. Japan Democratic Party leader Ichiro Ozawa has promised to block renewal of an anti-terrorist bill that allows Japan's self-defense forces to provide considerable logistical support to the U.S.-sponsored wars in the region. Without that support, it is unlikely the U.S. will have enough money or military might to continue the wars. Since this follows UK Prime Minister Brown's vow to remove British troops with or without US approval, it will mean the Bush regime has lost its last big war allies. Brown also publicly rebuked Bush during a recent visit by doing such things as pointedly refusing to take home a souvenir he was given. There are also signs the Japanese election was manipulated behind the scenes to promote a Democratic Party victory in Japan. Just before the election, the Japanese mainstream media suddenly began reporting heavily about a pension scandal the JDP has been talking and reported about for at least 5 years. This was crucial for their victory. We may see a general election as early as this fall, followed by the birth of a JDP government and an end to the post-war Japanese regime. It could be a sign of diminished Rockefeller influence in Japan. However, it is not a sign of diminished Illuminati control of Japan since Ozawa is himself a Freemason. Despite the positive developments, the biggest worry is all the public hints about a new terrorist attack on the U.S. to be used as an excuse to trigger martial law. However, such an attack at this time would fool nobody, the sources said. Many U.S. citizens might be fooled, but no other government in the world would believe it. The secret government knows they cannot use their old tricks anymore, the sources said. The Chinese secret societies, meanwhile, are watching carefully for any sign of new attempts to spread disease or otherwise carry out genocidal attacks. They only give one warning and have now initiated a news blackout. I am not in the loop about what they would do if a new breach was found, but they did say whatever action they took would be unpredictable and worse than expected. At the same time, an anti-Rothschild alliance has been formed in Tokyo. They warned that the entire Bush regime was probably set up as a bad cop to scare people in the arms of the EU good cop. They say there may be other surprises, possibly including a fake UFO invasion that Henry Kissinger hinted at during the 1991 Bilderberg meeting. We will have to look at least 4 or 5 steps ahead in order to keep on top of these people, the alliance says. So far, the EU only consists of governments that are controlled in secret by the Rothschilds, etc. Turkey is also a Rothschild fief. Their secret parliament, the Bilderbergers, have already shown they are racist by refusing to allow any Japanese to join. As a result, any effort to turn the EU into the base of a world government is doomed to fail. The Anti-Rothschild Alliance, with the discreet backing of the Chinese secret societies, will be contacting leaders of Russia, China, India, the Muslim countries, South America, Africa, etc. to create a global alliance that will demand a new way of running the planet. The UN Security Council will have to be replaced with a new grouping that more accurately represents the people of this planet. As it stands, 4 out of the 5 permanent Security Council members are representatives of Caucasian nations, even though only 17% of the world's people are Caucasian. This global apartheid will have to end. The world's financial system will also have to be replaced with a more transparent and equitable system that relies on more than simple human selfish greed as the main incentive for transactions. Once this is done, a 3-year campaign against the 5 curses of humanity, war, poverty, environmental destruction, ignorance and disease could be carried out. This could be a test case for replacing the Hegelian system of pitting opposite forces against each other in war with a system for people to compete towards agreed-upon peaceful goals. The industries and lobbies that have depended on war and turmoil will have to be given new goals and direction. One possibility would be a long-term campaign to terraform Mars. People will have to be patient, however. These changes will happen over a period of years, not months. In the meantime, let us see if the autumn surprise appears as promised.